Hey, all right, welcome back to another episode of Raff's Brain, a show about things that are interesting to me. I am your host, Rob Rafferty. It's time for a little afternoon drive to the car wash. I thought I'd bring you along for the adventure. The car wash is probably like a 7-minute ride from my house. If you add in maybe like a 5 to 10 minute car wash and a trip back, I thought that gives us plenty of time to have a entertaining and constructive episode of the show. What shall we discuss? Well, it's been a while since we've done a walk and talk, so I figured this could be a kind of version of walk and talk when I'm driving instead of walking. But I don't want to call it walk and I don't want to call it drive and talk. That doesn't rhyme. There's something about the rhyming of walk and talk that makes it a great title for the style of show. So I think I need something that rhymes with drive or ride or some other form of word that is related to driving in a car, transportation, vehicular, mobile, I don't know, let's work on that together. Just on top of mind, drive and thrive. Could that be a new subset of content on the Raff's Brain podcast? Potentially. I do find that I enjoy talking while I drive. I'm paying total attention to the street. My awareness is on, like it's on point. I'm not distracted. I'm very, very aware of what's going on around me, and I just want to make sure that people understand that. I'm not really I very rarely even look into the camera, except for instance when I approach a red light. Then I can take a moment to actually address you, the audience, directly, which only matters for the tens of followers that are watching on YouTube, and it means nothing to those of you who listen on the podcast. But whatever version you're on, thank you so much for being here. We're going to try a drive and thrive working title, or a ride and abide. We're going to come up with a title for this type of content. The bottom line is I'm just bringing you along for a little jaunt, and the mission is to get the car washed within the next 25 minutes to half an hour. That's the window of opportunity that I have. I structure my day very intentionally. And sometimes I get inspired and I'm like, this is a good window to get the car washed. Late afternoon. Do I think I can pull this off? We're gonna find out. I want to talk for a minute about cars. Since we're in a car, and this might be the inaugural episode of a drive and thrive or a ride and abide, I want to discuss the very product that's transporting me at the moment. We all are familiar with them. Presumably many, if not all of you, have or own or are familiar with cars, vehicles. We have some relationship to these objects. Some people are pretty intense about it. Some people name their cars. I haven't gone that far ever in life. My sister has several cars and she names them with her family, and that's great. I just think it's a little weird. I'm not that intensely emotionally connected to an inanimate object like this. I wonder how many of you name your cars, and if so, what names do you give them? And it's much like pet names. I'm fascinated by the way that people have a lot of, this guy's turning left. The left turners, man, the left turners always do you wrong. They always ruin your drive. Thankfully, he got through before the traffic came, so it wasn't too bad. But I could be stuck in this lane for a while. We'll see. Let's talk for a second about naming cars. And if you do that, first of all, what percentage of society names cars versus doesn't name cars? I'm going to bet that the majority of people don't name their cars. I think it's going to be a very small percentage of the population that gives a name to their vehicles. And if you do that, I'd like to know in the comments, what do you name your car? What's the best car name you've ever heard? And on a tangent, now we're converging into one lane here. This is always a lot of fun. Traffic patterns, dude, they're so amazing. I like the zipper theory, the idea that like you take turns one at a time, boop, 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 and that should accelerate things. The problem is, if everyone that's driving is not on board with the zipper theory, it won't ever get executed well, and therefore it's like a clogged up zipper. Like, what's that movie? Something About Mary. Oh my. If you don't know the opening scene of that movie, you need to watch it. It's so hilarious. Wow. The Frankenbeans. Oh, Frankenbeans. That's basically the equivalent of what it is traffic in the city, man. And the suburbs and the DC metro area is Frankenbeans, baby. Everyone's back to work. The construction's ongoing. It's perpetual. And you got, road closures, mergers, and you're supposed to be zippering in. But we all know what zippers in is, it turns out to be Frankenbeans. And you get the Frank above the beans above the Frank. Good times. All right. Back to car naming. I don't know. I don't name my cars. I'm trying to think about the people I know that name their cars. My sister names her cars. They have a red car. It's called Robin. I guess that's a cool name. I don't know how they came up with that name. But if you name your car, let me know. Drop it in the chat box or in the comment box. I'm going to judge it on a scale of 1 to 10. Similarly, I just think it's a fascinating thing. I think, first of all, a minority of people probably name their cars. And of that minority, I'm curious to know the basis of the name. For instance, is it a human name that is just given to a car? Or is it just another crazy name like the Beast? Oh my gosh, I guess I did name my car. I can't believe I forgot about this. My first car, the only car I've ever named. How do I get into this place? Here we go. Okay. The only car I've ever named. How could I have forgotten this? I mean, I guess I just lied to you. I said I never named my cars. I don't name my cars. I named my very first car when I was 16 years old. It was a 1990 Plymouth Horizon, which is another way of saying Dodge Omni, the more popular brand name for this car. And to this day, it's the best car I've ever owned. No offense to this car that I'm currently in, which is okay. It's a 2015 Subaru Impreza stick shift. But man, that Dodge Omni / Plymouth Horizon, the Blue Weasel, that's what it was called. It was, of course, blue in color. And I don't know where the weasel term came from. Of course, I have a walker here who's going to be walking across and it's going to get in my way. And I mean, walkers are annoying on busy streets, like they're NPCs in life, and they just sort of like exist, and they're there to frustrate you and prevent you and impede you from making left-hand turns. All right, I'm in line now. I'm at the entrance of the Wash and Run. That's the name of the car wash. I got about 4 or 5 cars ahead of me, so we could be here for a while. But it's not as bad as I've seen it in the past. It'll be okay. Automatic car wash. What a moneymaker. But only at a certain time, right? I feel like if you could do a pop-up automatic car wash, that might be a real interesting business model. Because a lot of times it's dead. A lot of times it's unused capital. It's just sitting here. It's not washing cars. It's not being utilized. It's empty. But man, when it's in demand, the line can stretch all the way out to the street. Here's an idea for anyone that would like to pursue it. If you own a automatic car wash franchise and you want to experiment with a few of your chains or your, I don't even know what they're called, I guess your operations, maybe you could implement peak pricing. So when it's really in high demand, you raise the prices up a few dollars. Conversely, when it's raining, you might really lower it down to almost, only a couple bucks. The idea here is, how do you even out the demand for this asset that you have? If you had an app that would give me an alert, I'm just trying to think through ways to make this a more efficient process. How much time across this country, or maybe even planet Earth, assuming they're, most developed countries probably have automatic car washes these days. How many human hours per year are spent waiting in line for a car wash? Well, it's got to be a lot, because right now we're going to be in line for maybe 10, 15 minutes. Multiply that by millions of people who are going to automatic car washes on an annual basis. Boy, that's an enormous cost on society. Where else could we be doing with our time? We could be recording podcasts. See, that's what I'm all about. I'm all about multitasking, value creation. We need more podcasts created expressly when you're in line at a car wash, at a Starbucks, at a fast food restaurant. That could be the new trend. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're onto something here. To my tens of listeners of this show, you know how I roll with this. We're still figuring this thing out. I'm approaching 100 episodes. I'm very proud of myself. I put out a lot of content. I put out walk and talk, ramblings and musings as I stroll across my neighborhood like a lunatic with a selfie stick. I put out hot yoga problems, sort of just thoughts that come to me post yoga on my drive home. I put out Riffing with Raff, brief interviews with people that inspire me. So I have little subsets of content. It's interesting to see which ones get more or less consumption. But I'm coming up with an idea now. Maybe it's another stream of this show. I would always click on the record button here. I'd have my camera at the ready for whenever I'm in line in my car. Actually, what I could do with this to make it a little more interesting, although I don't know if this would be interesting from a user standpoint or a listener standpoint. You can tell me how you think about this. What if it was a camera in the car like this, anytime I'm in line waiting for something? It could be fast food, it could be a car wash, although that's pretty infrequent. I mean, I only get the car washed a couple times a year. You're really joining me for a monumental moment of 2025. Q1 2025, I'm starting off strong. It's not even really the start of Q1. We're almost in the third month of Q1. By the way, why am I dividing my life up into quarters like this? That's just really disturbing. It's very corporate. Anyway, all I'm saying is I don't get my car washed that often. I don't know what the normal cadence is for car washes. What's a healthy... Oh man, there's someone that's pulled in behind me and scoped the scene and then reversed and backed it up and said, no thanks, I don't want to wait. I've been there, man. I've been there. It's a deceptively short line. Like, you don't think it's going to be super long, but if you have 4 or 5 people in front of you and it takes 5 to 7 minutes per wash, this can add up. And candidly, I don't have a lot to talk about. So I thought this was going to be a lot faster. We'll see how it turns out. But I respect somebody who pulls a ripcord that early in the process. Right now, I'm committed. I'm in. There's actually no escape route. I'm here. I'm getting the car washed. I'll have no alternative. Actually, I'm supposed to be home in the next 10 minutes. And that's not going to happen, and that's going to be upsetting to a certain someone who's expecting me to be there for another thing we're going to go to. Oh man, I'm in trouble. I better let her know. See? That's what you do, man. You got to be on top of your communications. Always keep people in the loop. No surprises. I'm in line at the car wash. It's taken a bit longer than usual. Should be back in the next 15, 20 minutes. That's the hope. That's the hope. So we'll see how that goes. I'm just happening to look at this on my seat. Story time. A couple weeks ago, something arrived in the mail. A letter from Mr. Tire. It was my second notice. That's a very effective tactic as a kind of as a marketing message. It looks very official. It has this safety inspection. It says second notice. It looks very formal. Almost looks like it's a parking ticket or something, like you're in trouble. So I felt compelled to open it. Frankly, I don't remember the first notice. I'm not sure they sent a first notice. This might just be a very effective marketing tactic. If so, hats off to you. What's interesting is the return address on it is Virginia Authorized Inspection Site, Mr. Tire Auto Service. It almost makes it feel like it's a formal notification. Very effective marketing. It's not just like a flyer or a postcard or an advertisement. Although it is an advertisement, it's a very clever one. So I opened it up and I got some information here. Dear Robert, according to our records, your 2015 Super Impreza may be due or past due for its mandatory 2025 Virginia safety inspection. Oh my gosh, they were correct. It was the month of February. They knew this because I was in their system. I went there last time. So that's effective customer service. They're proactively reaching out to me to remind me it's time for a state inspection and a safety and emissions test. And then they give me all the contact information, their hours of operation, their website. So I called them up, and it turns out they don't take appointments. Now that's a little strange. You send me this flyer, you're invested in getting my attention, making me take action. I call up to schedule time when I can drop my car off. And they're like, well, you know, we kind of just do first come, first serve. And I'm like, oh man, that's convenient. The car's moving, let's go. I love it when we're getting closer and closer to the entrance of the car wash and just get the anticipation build. We're gonna pause on this Mr. Tire story for a second. I want to share with people the options for the car wash. Man, I didn't realize how much it costs to get a car wash. It's been a while. I have three options. I have the deluxe wash, which is kind of interesting. That's like the lowest quality of wash, but it's called the deluxe. I thought deluxe was... We should look into this. Hey Siri, what is the word deluxe? What's the definition of the word deluxe?
The word deluxe is an adjective that means luxurious, high quality, or superior. This answer is from secondtentoauthority.com. Luxurious,
superior. Wow. Deluxe wash is $11. That's the bare minimum is going to be luxurious and superior. Okay, good to know. But if that's not enough, we got the next step is called the ultimate wash. Hey Siri, what's the definition of the word ultimate?
The word ultimate can be used as an adjective to describe something that is last, final, elemental, fundamental, or maximum. It can also be used as a noun to refer to a final point or result.
Wow, it's the ultimate, it's the highest, it's the most fundamental. So it takes it up from a luxurious experience to a final destination. That's as high as it gets. But no! There's another step up. The ultimate. It's called the shine and protect. It's even higher than the ultimate. So deluxe wash, $11. Ultimate wash, $15. Shine and protect, $17. What's the difference between these? I'm going to take a quick photo of it. I don't want to think about this. I'm going to take a photo. I'm going to use ChatGPT, a remarkable tool. I'm going to take a photograph of the menu options here. I'm going to upload it to ChatGPT in real time. And I'm going to ask it, what is the best option for me, a budget-conscious person with a very dirty car? What is the best option for me? I don't want to even consider myself a budget-conscious. I'm just going to like, what's the difference between these options? It's uploading. ChatGPT is incredible. I recommend it highly. Or any AI technology these days. I think it's absolutely worth the money. Okay, so this is where it's good. It's engaging. It says, could you tell me a little bit more about what you're looking for in the car wash? For example, are you looking for the best protection for your car's paint, a basic wash, or the best value? I'm going to say the best value. Best value, please. But not too stingy. It's probably going to give me the medium. I mean, the ultimate wash is probably the way to go. But for only $2 more, you get the Shine and Protect. See, this is why the ultimate wash is the best option. It includes the foam wash and shine, total body protection, clear coat protectant. You still get the spot-free rinse, soft touch foam wash, triple foam conditioner, foam soap, and undercarriage wash, ensuring a thorough clean. It's $2 cheaper than the top-tier Shine and Protect wash, but the main difference is the lack of ceramic C-force protection, which is beneficial for long-term paint preservation. Ceramic C-force protection, that just sounds like a gimmick. It sounds like a bunch of BS. So, if you want a solid, well-rounded wash with protection, but don't want to spend the top dollar, the ultimate wash is the way to go. Ladies and gentlemen, ChatGPT for the win. That was real time, dude. You take a picture, it reads it, it analyzes it, it understands. And I trust it. I might just start making this thing make decisions for me in life. ChatGPT, take a picture of a menu. What should I have for dinner tonight so I can lose weight? That's actually a very interesting idea. Could ChatGPT just tell me what to eat, how to behave, what to do? Actually, I want to outsource all my decisions to algorithms of ChatGPT. I think it's going to make better choices than I am. That might be a thing to do. Surrender your life to artificial intelligence. Just give away any sense of agency and autonomy and decision making, and then let the chips fall. I bet our lives would be better. I bet our lives would be superior if you can get past the idea that it's kind of weird that you're kind of surrendering your agency. You're actually not just surrendering it, you're paying someone to make those decisions for you. But is that going to make me happier in the long run? Possibly. It's possible. All right, let's get back to story time with Mr. Tire. So I went to Mr. Tire. It's right down the street. It's very close. I actually dropped my car off and then I walked home. That was a good excuse to get some steps in. I drove to the Mr. Tire. I dropped the car off. They said, yeah, we'll have it. This is a couple days ago. They're like, yeah, no problem. We got you. I said, you know what? Can you also give me an oil change? While I'm here, let's just like double dip. Let's get it done. Sure thing. So inspection, emissions test, oil change. I'm thinking that's probably less than $100 all in. I'm happy. And there we go. A couple hours later, I get a call, ring, ring. Oh, you know how this goes, my friends. I know all of you have experienced this at one time or another in life. If you are a car owner, you undoubtedly have experienced what I'm about to tell you. Hello, Mr. Rafferty. Yeah, how's it going? Well, we're looking at your car here, and you know, we got some It's got some manufacturer recommended upgrades. Okay, air filter, oil, filter, blah, 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 blah. I say, look, man, I handle all that somewhere else. Thank you very much. I'm okay. Well, here's something else that's even more important. What was this thing called? I don't even remember what these are called. Your control arms are broken. Okay, what the hell is a control arm? Well, Mr. Rafferty, a control arm is like in the undercarriage of the car. This is a 2015 model. They've never been replaced before. They're showing signs of wear and tear. And what's the upshot? The upshot is we can't pass your safety inspection unless you get new and improved, upgraded control arms. First of all, I've never heard of a control arm as a part of a car. I had no idea that was a real thing. But I'm also so ignorant about how automobiles work that I just accepted it as truth. And I said, well, if you're telling me that I have to get these improvements and repairs in order to pass an inspection, I guess I have to get them. There's not an optionality to this, right? I mean, this is a requirement. Yes, Mr. Rafferty, that's what we're saying. I couldn't take it to somewhere else down the street. I couldn't take it to a competitor and get a reevaluation and not get the control arms, right? No, Mr. Rafferty, you have to get new control arms. I could get a second opinion if I really wanted to invest a lot of time and energy into that, but the bottom line is I don't have time. I don't choose to do that. All right, I'm going to get my car here. Enter your code now. I don't have a code. Okay, I'm going to get a ultimate wash. Credit card. Remove your credit card. Would you like a receipt? No. Really? Do I need a receipt for a car wash? I purchased the ultimate. Please wait for the next opportunity. All right. Easy peasy. The way I like it. Oh boy. You know what was nice about this feature is I used my credit card and it didn't give me an upcharge. How about those restaurants and convenience stores where there's like a little sign, minimum expense, $5. I've seen them up to $10 now if you use your credit card. I was in a place the other day, no joke, back in West Virginia, kind of a diner slash restaurant, and we're checking out and they have a little sign that says, it was something like a 3 or 4% surcharge if you use a credit card. They're trying to cover that cost because I think that's something like the credit card companies might charge them 2.5% or something like that. But they don't. You shouldn't advertise that. So I guess I should have brought a lot of cash. That would be the way to go. If you have cash, you don't have to pay that little extra fee. But ultimately, what happens, I think, is you start to wonder, well, maybe my tip will be lower. But I don't want to do that. I don't do that. I don't play those games. I don't try to hurt the restaurant. I don't want to take out my frustration on the innocent workers. But I just, it is a little bit of frustration there. And it's interesting how like those types of fees and upcharges don't exist in this automatic car wash industry. Because I could pay cash. There's a machine where I could stick some bills in and I'd be good to go. But they don't give you a discount for using cash. They don't give you a fee for using a credit card. It's all just baked in. It's flat fees, 11, 15, and whatever the next one was, 18 or 21, 17, whatever. I think the person in front of me is getting the deluxe wash because they're going round and round and round, man. How many times are you going to get your car smacked by these pads? Come on. I'm right here, man. I'm ready to go. I'm next in line. Boy, the anticipation is brewing. All right, so Mr. Tire, back to the Mr. Tire story. Okay, well, what's the damage, right? I mean, ultimately, they're telling me I got to have these control arms repaired, some other jazz. Well, the control arms and the oil change and the inspections. Oh, by the way, there's a couple other things that you didn't pass inspection on. Your rear lights out and some other lights out. Okay, what is it? What's the damage, son? Dudes, how much do you think that costs? I was thinking, okay, maybe like $500-600. I had no idea. I really am so clueless. Would it surprise you if I said almost $2,000? $2,000. I just wanted to get an inspection, bro. I don't need a new car. I looked up the Blue Book value, the Kelly Blue Book value of a 2015 Subaru Impreza stick shift with about 60,000 miles. It's probably like $10,000. So 20% of the value of my car to get new control arms. I don't even know what the heck a control arm is. I've never heard of a control arm. I swear to you, I know like a combobulator. You got other stuff. We got, okay, green light, drive in now. I'm just kidding. I don't know much about cars. Oh, here we go. The undercarriage spray. You got to get that nice and good. You got to go slow with the undercarriage spray. Oh, it's getting soaked. Got to get the undercarriage cleaned. That's the most important part of the car. But gotta get my control arms all cleaned up. Okay, we're driving. We're moving. Drive ahead slowly. That's what I'm doing. Stop. Here we go. I love car washes. Back up, motherfucker. All right. Oh man, I've always loved car washes. Even as a kid, it's just a fun experience. It really is. I should do this more often. I don't do it enough. I'm definitely, probably 2 to 3 times a year max. Is that normal? Is that too much? Is that too little? What do you think? Man, this stuff is really moving. It's really pushing my car around. I like that. There's some friction here. We got that ultimate wash, not the deluxe. We got the ultimate terminal wash. I wonder, I'd like to do like a deep dive on the origins of the automatic car wash. Think about the economy that emerged around cars and automobiles. Floor mats, windshield wipers, light bulbs. Oh, that's like kind of second and third generation. Wow, it's so noisy. It's like really slapping the dirt around. I love it. Love it! But then when did automatic car washes come on the scene? When was that really a prominent thing? And of course, initially, I bet it was a very sophisticated and expensive luxury item. It probably was initially for the elite, right? Like so many things, so many innovations in society are initially very expensive. They're out of reach to the common man. And then at a certain point, they become ubiquitous and accessible to all. And then like the democratization of technology reigns. This is true for so many things, right? The story of automatic car washes is no different. I'm certain of it. Let's look into that history as an assignment. There must be someone who's done research on this. Surely there's a PhD dissertation in the business or economics department somewhere that's done this research. I think also we must, you know, the handheld spray wash approach. I used to do that a lot. And that's very cheap. You could actually get 50 cents back in the day. It might be more than that now, but you have the wand and you get like a 3-minute countdown. You gotta like really run around the car and get as much as you can. I like that. I really enjoy that. You're in control, right? You're in control. Unlike the automatic car wash, I have no control. I'm a passive observer of what's happening. Not an active participant. I don't own this experience. I wonder if there's an opportunity. They should be playing movies. They should be playing advertisements. This is huge. There's something missing from this experience, and that is I'm not being inundated with advertisements. Everywhere else in life, the supermarket line, the back of your receipts, everything has got like some way to communicate with you, to break through, to get you to take an action, to get you to pay attention to something. Sitting here in the automatic car wash, I have nothing to do other than talk to you on this makeshift podcast, Raff's Brain. Okay, drive forward slowly. Let's go. Let's go. I'm going to go slow to maximize my value from the air machines that are drying my car off for the next 60 seconds. I like how they give me a countdown clock. That's pretty cool. Oh, it's like you're going through a wind tunnel, baby. Yeah, the windshield wipers are bouncing up and down. It's very aggressive. It's very loud. Woo! It's like I'm on a roller coaster. But I'm very impatient. I don't want to take the next 30 seconds to slowly roll my way out of this garage. Wow, it's so loud, and we might have to file a class action lawsuit. Oh, is it triggering my tinnitus? Ah! All right. We made it. Oh boy. Well, that was fun. Heading back now. As I was saying, there might be an opportunity, a business model to sell advertising on the interior of automatic car washes. I don't think that would need to necessarily be a fixed visual like a billboard. The other problem is like things are getting wet, so it's like, how would you do this? There might be like really intensely waterproof commercial grade digital screens, and you can sell 30-second increments of advertisements to your customers. You could even have an optional experience, I'm making this up, if you add an extra quarter or 50 cents to your charge on the way in, it'll start an episodic original web television show or web content. I'm kind of coming up here. How do we do this? And if you turn your radio to a certain dial or a certain call number, not a call letter. What is it? You just have to adjust your radio to a certain frequency, and you'll get the audio from the video on the wall. I don't think anyone would do that. That's not a winning solution. I'm riffing here. I'm making things up as I go. But I'm just telling you, there's something about this that could be very compelling. I might have to call the wash and rinse or whatever it's called, the wash and shine. I have to re-listen to the episode to remember the name of that place. I only go there once in a blue moon. How often are blue moons, by the way? Is it true that I go there once in a blue moon? I might go there more than once in a blue moon. Depends on the frequency of blue moons. While we're at a stoplight, I'm going to ask, hey Siri, how often do blue moons occur relative to that saying, once in a blue moon?
On average, a blue moon occurs once every 2.7 years. This is why the term once in a blue moon is used to refer to things that only happen occasionally.
Very cool, very cool. So once I do get my car washed more than once in a blue moon. I probably get my car washed about 10 times, or 10 to 12 to 15 times a blue moon. We should start using that saying accurately, because I've heard it misused a lot. People are like, oh, I'm gonna go to McDonald's. How often do you go? Once in a blue moon. No, I go there like 50 times. I go there 500 times in a blue moon. That would be like 200 times a year. We got to get more precise in our language, folks. We say all these things, we don't know what we're talking about. We make it up as we go. I hear you. Let's just think more, a little deeper. That's all. Okay. I'm gonna take a right here. There's too much traffic ahead. We're gonna bypass. We're gonna try some side street action. That's what I'm all about. I don't have time to sit in line with all the left turners and the mergers, all that good stuff, the Frankenbean zipper action. No, we're not getting there today. We're gonna actually make some progress. Wow, we're well into 40 minutes here. We're approaching 40 minutes of this show. That is not my intention. When I initially left my house, I thought it was gonna be a 20-minute trip, all in, maybe 25. It was just a consequence of too many people at the car wash. And again, how can we implement a kind of peak pricing model so we can, moderate that demand and like flatten it out a little bit. I'm not saying you have to do it just on rainy days when you'd have the lower cost. I'm saying maybe certain times of day. Peak pricing, dude, this is a real thing. We all need to be thinking about it. The technology is there. It needs to be deployed much more broadly in society for almost everything we do. I was even thinking the other day when I was at the supermarket, we already, if you're buying milk, for instance, foods that have an expiration date stamped upon them, the moment that thing is put on the shelf, its value to the consumer is going down, but the price is constant. That's why people are routinely reaching to the back of the milk shelves to pull out the containers that have the dates that are the furthest ahead. You're getting more value for your money, right? No one wants spoiled milk in their refrigerator, because the price is always the same regardless of what the expiration date is. Why is that the case? We need modulated pricing based on the expiration date. As a food approaches expiration, its value to the consumer should go down. Conceivably, depends. Here's the interesting thing: if you're someone who wants to consume it immediately, its value is really the same. But if you're someone who wants to have it and spread out the consumption over time, you're obviously not very excited when you get something with a rapidly approaching expiration date. So how come we don't have variable pricing that drops as the expiration date approaches? This would seem to be in the best interest of the consumer and the producer, that is, in this case, the retailer, the seller, because I bet the seller ultimately ends up with a lot of waste on the shelf. If people don't buy that gallon of milk by the expiration date, it just gets chucked in the trash. That's waste. That's social waste. It's terrible. It's trash. We don't want that. So let's implement variable pricing using all those new technologies that we have, AI, other things that can track and make this all possible for the benefit of everyone. All right, this is a fun episode. I had a good time. I got the car washed. It took longer than I thought. Ride and drive. What do we call it? Drive and jive. Oh my gosh, that could be it. That's it. Riffing with Raff. Drive and jive, baby. I love that. I'm going with that. This is the inaugural episode. We're going to do some more of these in the future. Thank you for being here. Have a great day. See you next time.